Well, I like going hunting, just me, my hound, and my gun. Chasing them deer, rabbit, and squirrel, now that's my kind of fun. I like going fishing too, I'll go on any whim, looking for the big bass, the poppy, and the brim. Just give me a wide open field to walk through. Give me an ocean so deep. I want to ride the longest river in the world, or maybe climb the highest mountain peak. Like going down to the fishing hole, buddies and me and my old cane pole. Bait them hooks and wet them lines, it's life I love so fine. It's almost supper time, you'd think the world was mine.
And now for today's outdoor adventure, here's Archie Phillips.
Hi folks, welcome again to Outdoors with Archie Phillips. Now it's real early in the morning, and Gary and Aubrey Revell where are we at really?
Sanborn,
Florida. Right down here in the middle of all the good hunting and fishing and everything, but we're gonna do something special today. We want y'all to pay close attention. These folks here are world renowned. I call it worm fiddling. What do y'all call it?
worm grunting.
Worm grunting. And the reason we have to be here real early, and I'm gonna let Gary tell us that. I mean, it's way before daylight. What's the reason for that now, Gary and Audrey?
Well, you have to get up early like this and able to be out at daylight, which is the peak of the harvesting time. If you go out there at daylight, you got plenty to do. It's cool, and it's a little easier to work, and the worms come up the best early in the morning.
Well, now, some people tell me after a while, when the sun comes out, you can't get them. Is that right?
Well, it's not that you can't get them. They just don't surface as good as they do early in the morning. The bright sunlight has an effect on them, and they tend to slow down. They don't come up as quick, and you don't get as many at each root, which is each grunt we make. And then once the dew dries off, it gets hot, and usually around about 10:30 we come home, because it gets too hot, and you stand a chance for losing bait if you let them get real hot.
I said, now, on a good day, how many worms can you grunt up?
It's not a thing that how many I can get. It's got a lot to do to where I'm at. So some days we might get 3,000 or 4,000, or we might do a little better, or some days we might not do as good. It all depends on the area and the conditions of the weather, and the time of year also.
Now you and Audrey do this for a living, don't you?
Yes, sir. We did it since 1970.
1970.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, when you get these worms, what do you do with them then?
We bring them home. We have a shop that's air conditioned, and we put them in buckets of sawdust and muck them. We call it mucking them up, and put about this much sawdust in a 5-gallon bucket, and pour the worms in the bucket, and then they'll work their way down in the dust, and all the debris that's the grass, the bark, the straw, and stuff like that stays on top, and you rake that off the top and put it in the garden.
Oh, boy, I bet it makes a good garden.
Yes, that makes that garden do right.
Well, and y'all distribute them everywhere, don't you?
Well, we got main people that we take to. We don't do the road trips as far as distribute them store to store to store. We kind of got out of that and built ourselves up to where we've got 2 or 3 distributors that do that for us. We just go and with bulk and unload, and then they take.
Well, they package them up and
no, sir, we package them.
Y'all do the packaging and everything.
We do we call it cupping them up. And we cup them up and then take them to our buyer that buys them by the bulk, and then he distributes probably from out of all of them, from anywhere from Texas to North Carolina.
My goodness. So, well, the main thing I wanted you outdoor folks to remember is you go in a little old store and you buy this little round cup of worms, and you ain't got no idea where them worms came from. We fixed to show y'all where they came from.
That's right.
Now, Gary, are these night crawlers?
No, sir, they don't have no, they're not no kin at all, I'll put it that way.
You don't ever get night
No,
crawlers?
sir, no wigglers, no, I don't think they are active to the grunt part. I ain't really sure. I haven't really tried to grunt up night crawlers, you know, or wigglers, but I haven't heard of anyone
Where do they
doing
get
it.
them at?
They get them up north,
Up north.
where it's cold. They're a cooler climate type worm, and they get them at night.
I see.
They come up at night, and they just pick those up off the ground, you know, at night.
Well, let me ask you this now. How did you get started?
Oh my God.
Huh?
I'd have to go back 100 years and figure that out, and I don't think I could then. But my great-grandparents done it. So,
Is that
yes,
right? And
so
they passed it on to you?
I learned from them, growing up, you know, with my kinfolk and
I
stuff.
see.
Yes.
I see. Well, that's real interesting. Well, we're ready to get out there and let y'all show us for
We're
sure.
gonna shake it up for you this morning.
Okay, very good.
I guarantee you that. Mr. Archie, this is our tools that we use. This is a custom-made stop made out of black gum.
Uh-huh.
This is a piece of heavy steel, probably an overloading spring off of something, like a tractor or something. It's about 5/8 thick, 2 3 foot long.
Good and
Weighs
slick.
about 15 pounds. It's one of my lighter rigs, but
I see.
this here is the one that hunts the big worms.
Well, now, Gary, you was telling me that you did this thing for the Dirty Jobs here several years back.
Yes, sir. I did that program, Dirty Jobs, with Mike Rowe. It was a pretty good show. We had a ball that day. We went out early that morning and got some bait, worms, and showed them all about it. We had a big fish fry afterwards, and some of the local boys got their guitars out, and we played some music and ate some fish and grunted worms, and we had a big day.
Oh, that's great.
And,
well, now, did you start the Sop Choppy Worm Festival?
Well, I don't want to say I started it, but the committee in Sop Choppy that cranked it up and thought it up and all, got it going, and then they found it wasn't going too good for them as far as having someone to explain and demonstrate to what was going on. And seems like after they got a hold to me and Audrey, that
y'all cranked it up.
We kind of got them a little more interested in it, and they had someone to go to that knew the woods and how it was done. And
well, it's a big festival, ain't it, Gary?
Yes, sir. It's getting to be really a big thing there in Sop Choppy. It amazes me because for the longest, didn't many people even know about us anyway. It was,
that's where I heard about it.
Yeah.
Nick here told me about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to come get with y'all. Right. All right. Well, then, is it too early to start?
No, sir. It's time to ready rock and roll.
Now tell me, where are we at right now? As best you can tell.
We're still in Wakulla County. We up at the Smith Creek area, which is north of my place there.
Well, now this is the National Forest.
This is Apalachicola National Forest, yes, sir.
Big forest, ain't it?
Yes, sir. It reaches miles and miles on that beyond us here. Probably, I think it's like 600,000 acres.
Goodness gracious. All right, well, that's great. Well, let's see what happens.
Okay, let's just step right here, and they waiting on us.
About these, because it's got rope on them, so they can't get out.
I try not to use nothing else. I have to really watch them around the house, you know, where nobody gets them. They're just old paint buckets washed out.
And it's got a handle on it.
Yep.
A lot of times you'll catch me talking to them, so.
I understand. Now let me ask you, that stub, it makes a lot of difference which stub kind of wood you use too, don't it?
Yes, sir. Different woods make different sounds, different tones. But I like the black gum and persimmon. They hold up the longest.
I see.
Because you do beat on them a lot.
You want me to bring that chair out here for you?
No. Yeah, hold on.
These old bushes will grab you. They grab me all the time. Stomp them down, that's what I do.
Boy, that makes a good sound.
That right there make a turkey meal, won't it?
Oh, yeah, all at me.
Well, less than
Tiny, tiny.
I always tell people whatever they fish with.
Lord of mercy.
That's what it's all about, Mr. Archie, right
Goodness gracious. Well, now let me ask you this, Gary. Why do them worms come up?
there. It's, we did a experiment with a professor out of Nashville.
Uh-huh.
And we busted the myth on to why as they do come up. And it's a predator-prey thing. There's a mole in
My
this forest.
goodness, look how far out they come up. Lord of mercy.
There's a mole that eats these worms.
Uh-huh.
And he makes a noise kind of like what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
You know. And these worms try to get out of his reach.
I see.
And they'll crawl up and then go back down, you know. And we busted the myth on that. And
in other words, that's what causes
yes,
it.
sir, it's a predator. The mole eats him, and he's just trying to get away from the mole.
And the mole eats worms?
Yes, sir. They have to eat probably 15 of them a night.
15
to
a night?
survive, yeah.
Golly.
Yeah. Their metabolism is so hiked up.
Well, now, I'm gonna, look here. What is the range out there? That's 20 yards out there they
30,
picking up,
30,
huh?
40 foot.
30 to 40 foot from the stop.
Maybe better than that.
Audrey she's picking up worms everywhere. Goodness gracious, look at the worms. Man.
When I'm grunting this stuff, I'll watch the ground, and if I see 20 or 30 over here, I might see 40 over here. I'll just ease over that way.
I got
Try
you.
to stay in the main run
I got you.
of the worms. And then if they thin out, I might come back and go another way.
I
But
see.
see this grass, this wire grass, you got cut grass. That's an indication that that's good worms in that.
Say that, cut grass, what are you
Yes.
talking about?
See this cut grass right here?
Yeah?
This grass will cut you.
Uh-huh.
When you're reaching in it with your hands, it's got sharp edges on it.
I got you.
And usually where you find this broad leaf grass, the worms are in good condition. They really the ones you want to get.
I got you.
And see it goes down.
Uh-huh.
See how the hill slopes? Now when I get down here on this slope, if it isn't too wet down there, I'll get some really nice ones.
Oh, well, I'll be darned.
Yes, sir. Let me make one more, let's see what they're gonna do.
I think they're doing pretty good.
I started right by the road. It's a little bit higher ground right up there where I started.
Uh-huh.
All right, when I made them 2 roots, I eased down the hill here where it gets a little softer. This grass is a little thicker here.
Uh-huh.
See? And then I go to picking up worms of this size.
Wow.
See, and that's what I'm after.
Uh-huh.
So I'm pretty much in a pretty good spot. But see, Mama's way out there getting those worms.
Y'all, they ain't even slowed down getting them. Look at them people out there picking up them worms.
They the prettiest ones to fish with.
And we love it, Mr. Archie. There ain't nothing like being in these woods like this early in the morning before day. We've seen sunrises that's unreal. and there's nothing out here really to harm you.
Uh-huh.
There's things you need to know about staying safe. you know.
Yeah. I bet you run over snakes out here, don't you?
We don't even pay them no mind no more.
Yeah.
We don't kill them, or we used to kill the
Rattlers.
now, moccasin or something like that. I will.
Yeah.
Because they will. They don't leap. They stand the ground. They'll bite.
Yep.
And pygmy rattlers, and other snakes like that. Nah, we just flip them over to the side and go
about your business.
work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't no use of killing, and they're not out here like they used to be either.
Yeah. This burning, does that get some of them?
I want to say maybe some, but actually, burning is really a natural thing, and maybe it does keep certain things in check. But as far as harming things, nah, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
And it gives us an advantage of being able to see
I see.
a lot of times of the year when we can't. But we don't really care. We'll work rough woods, which is not burned, or the burned woods. Sometimes the burned woods will grow up faster than what the natural green is. You know?
Uh-huh.
And it don't bother us. We just, after working in it a few days, you get accustomed to working in
Right
that
here,
stuff.
under your chair.
Man alive, look at that. Goodness gracious.
There's another one right here.
Well, you got to have your eye kind of trained, hadn't you?
You do. You just got to get used to it. That was.
I don't see how they look at the size of that one right yonder, Nick. Look at him. Look at that one right down there.
There's two.
Two of them.
Three. There's one next to them.
Yeah.
I gotta go get my bucket. I got too many in my hand. Or I can put them
Okay.
on the
Right.
Golly, look at them all in there.
I think they're healthy.
I don't see how they can get out of the ground so quick, Gary.
It's the same one.
See, we had a rain here like last night or maybe yesterday.
Uh-huh.
It's a little damp, and that does help.
But I mean, they're up, they're out of the ground before you can say hello. I don't see how they get out of the ground so quick.
They'll go back. Well, not quite that fast, but
Yeah, we usually.
but this morning they tend to lay out on the ground a little more with it damp.
Come up higher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there ain't nothing like this right here.
Oh
Ain't no
man.
car gonna run over you. And you pretty much do what you want. And we really enjoy it. It's our life, you know.
And now you do this year round, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You do it 5 days a week or 2 or 3 days?
As long as I got sale coming in, I go. But that's what controls me.
Your
I'm
sales of
controlled
your
by-
bait.
Yes, sir. The sales. If I got good sales, I go every day.
Uh-huh.
If I get the sales slack off, I get to work 4 or 5 days out of the week. I do, and then I get a chance to do my gardens or do my fishing or hunting or whatever I need to do around the house, you know.
And you're right in the middle of the woods.
Yes, right in the middle of the forest,
So you
surrounded
do-
by forest.
So you can do anything you want to.
That's right. I can talk about anybody I want right here. And don't nobody care.
Now, folks, I want you to look at this bucket. If you think that ain't a pile of worms, I just want you to look.
That's just one bucket.
Goodness,
Yeah.
look at that.
We both got a bucket. Just
My
like that.
goodness, we ain't been out here 30 minutes. I want you folks just to look at them worms. My goodness gracious. Now, what I was asking you, Audrey, was can you get too many in a bucket?
Yes, sir. You know, if you fill it to the top, they'll be packed, you know.
Well, that kills them.
Not if you pour them out pretty quick at the house,
I
you know,
see.
in the sawdust. But it's best to just get them about halfway.
About half full.
Yes, sir. And
Boy, y'all picked a bunch of them things.
yes, sir.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I have. Now, it takes a lot to impress me, but I am impressed.
Yes, sir. It's just a job.
Yeah. Now, y'all, and you just put a half a bucket full at a time,
Yes, sir.
and that keeps them
They
from.
live a little bit better.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, when you get back to your house, what are you gonna do with these worms?
We're gonna put them in a 5-gallon bucket, half full of sawdust,
Uh huh.
and then they'll go down in the dust and it'll clean them.
Clean them.
Yes, sir. And all the stuff that's on them, the dirt, the leaves, straw, whatever, it'll be on top of the dust.
Uh-huh.
And so you can just rake that off and pour the worms out, and they're a lot cleaner that way.
Oh, I see. I see.
Here we go, going into Revell's live bait, where they do the counting and separating of the worms.
Let me get Nick in here.
Come on in here,
All right,
Nick.
Nick.
This is the bait house. This is where we come. Mr. Archie, I got a pile of dust out here in the back that I get from the man up there by the bridge. We just went down in that dip. He's got a big dust pile out there.
Dust.
Yes, sawdust. Yes.
Sawdust, yeah.
Yes, sir. And see it in. I fill my can about half full when I get in. I can go out there and get a can and show you just how I do it if you want me to do that. I can do it right here. See, I went out, here's the dust that I use.
Okay.
I got me about maybe a third of the bucket full of dust.
Uh-huh.
I take these worms and just dump them in here.
Okay.
All right, see how they'll work their way down in that dust.
Uh-huh.
And all the debris and stuff that's on top.
Yes, to see it had them ashes
right there, up there.
It causes that to come up.
Yes, sir. It cleans the worms where they don't. This won't be in your cups.
I see.
It also makes
tomatoes taste better.
See, we rake it out. We rake it out, put this in buckets, and it goes right straight into the garden.
I got you.
There ain't nothing chemicals about it. It's all natural, you know. Ash and
Potash off
debris off the ground, straw, bark, and plus the dust. We just mix it in our garden. It does excellent. You
Well, the first thing
you don't destroy your land by like you do with chemical fertilizer.
First thing you do, you dump them in the sawdust, and they work in there, and they clean it up.
Yes.
And then you pull the debris off the top,
Yes.
ready to go in the cups in,
Right. Yes, and then I'll take. Okay, I'll take.
Now you actually count out the worms,
Yes,
right?
sir. We count them in the woods while we harvesting, and then we also count at home here in the cup.
Okay, that's the cup now.
Right,
You
because-
put how many in that cup?
20. I'm gonna put 20 in this cup.
20 in the cup.
And let's just say this is 20. And I'll take the dust, my cupping dust. It's a little bit different from the muck dust. It's been bark raked out of it and stuff sticks, and I'll put you the dust in it, cap. And we put the top on him. He's ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go tomorrow.
Now, folks, I've had an adventure today. I hope y'all have too. And you see, these are the people that provide you when you go in the store and buy a little cup of worms. Probably came from way off down here in the middle of the woods in Florida. And Gary and Aubrey and Snap there do this for a full-time living. And they don't bring them and leave them laying around where they get soggy and all. They go the day before what their orders are. They do what they do out there like y'all saw us do. They send them customers. And I just want to thank you, Gary.
Mr. Archie, good to meet you, sir.
And Snap and Aubrey, it's been a pleasure. Y'all folks stay tuned again for some more outdoor.